ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
Fantasy Sports puts you in control of your own team. The Nick Bonsanto Show is proud to present the Star Fantasy League Show. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, co-hosted by SFL CEO Zach Stanley and SFL COO Seth Young. The Star Fantasy League Show, on the air.
Make this game your finest hour.
Now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on the Sports Byline USA Network. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined as always by Star Fantasy League CEO, Mr. Zach Stanley.
It's a new week, and it's just about as frigid here in Rochester, New York, as it will be for the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Ooh. I thought we said we were not going to bring up. Remember, football is a sore subject right now.
I'm looking forward to the snowball. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Fear the cold.
Another sore subject we're going to talk about is COO Seth Young.
Yeah, I'm getting real tired of this, Jonald.
Are you? Because I feel like every time Zach sets you up with something rude, and I just go into it. That's how this works.
All you guys do is make fun of me. You know, words hurt sometimes.
Every day on the Star Fantasy League Show, we do a rundown of what we're going to talk about and all this, and Zach and I go over it and make sure we know what we're doing. Seth goes, yeah, whatever. Like,
none of that is true.
I'm just going to show up in the office and we'll in the studio and I'll see what happens.
None of that is true. I prepare.
How do you prepare? Do you sit there and like just come up with random puns? And...
I bring the chairs in.
Oh, okay. So you do prepare. You do prepare. You know what we have lined up today? We got a lot of NBA talk, but around the world of sports, a lot of strange, interesting things to talk about. We got the Celtics returning home. I call them the Celtics. I'm never calling them the Nets. We got the Pro Bowl to talk about. Anybody care? Pro Bowl?
Did you just say the Celtics are the Nets?
No. I said I'm never calling them the Nets.
And did you also just say we're going to talk about the Pro Bowl?
Why are we talking about the Pro Bowl?
Believe me.
You're telling me you prepared for this?
I prepared for this. That is correct. I prepared more than you did, yes.
My goodness, man.
And what else do we have to talk about? We're going to talk about hockey for the first time pretty much ever. You guys just are so excited.
Hockey.
I know. After the break, actually, we are going to get into that right off the bat. Outdoor hockey. Who doesn't love outdoor hockey? Come on. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
Nick Bonsanto is proud to present the Star Fantasy League Show. Feel free to tweet the show at SFL Show.
We are back on the Star Fantasy League Show. We are talking a bunch of random things that happen in sports. Usually we talk about, basketball, all three segments. We had some cool stuff that went on, and I wanted to get down to it. The Pro Bowl happened. We talked about the terrible things that went into hyping this Pro Bowl. Did anybody here actually watch it?
I remember when I was a kid and I used to watch the Pro Bowl. I'm not really sure why I did it back then.
The TV was on?
Yeah, I think it was interesting. Jerry Rice was around back then. Made it a little bit more exciting. But I literally cannot watch this thing anymore. I would rather watch the Grammys. I would probably rather watch a soap opera rerun because it's pretty much a really just bad soap opera.
What about the Royal Rumble? Would you rather watch the Royal Rumble?
I heard there was quite the fireworks on the WWE the other night.
There actually was. Mick Foley, who is employed by the company, went on Facebook and Twitter and said, that is a travesty that you hate your fans that much.
I think the NFL probably hates their fans, too, if they just keep running the stupid Pro Bowl the way it's running. Well, and what is going on with football these days anyway? What happened to the game? I mean, when did this become a safe sport? It's not a safe sport. It was never a safe sport. I played football as a kid. It was never safe.
To be fair, last night's game, there were some hits in that game. Jamal Charles got hit by his own teammate and was kind of like, dude, you're not allowed to hit me that hard. And he's like, I'm going to hit you. But the game itself was 22-21. It was sloppy. It was rainy. There were 6 turnovers, 9 sacks. It was
the only rainy
day
in Hawaii, huh?
Yeah, that's no, I think it rains a little bit, but it's kind of like Florida-ish.
Well, they had the draft, and that was a massive bomb.
It wasn't like an actual draft. It was let's draft quarterbacks now. Let's draft
linebackers. They were all lounging around. They were not excited to be drafted. They were more worried about when they could get out to the beach.
Yeah, just because would you be excited?
No.
No, they wanted to be drafted first. Maybe that's what they said. Draft me first so I can get out of here.
You know what would be a really good idea for the Pro Bowl, and I hope somebody from the NFL is listening? You make players play different positions on the field.
That would be, oh my God, that would be amazing. You draft J.J. Watt in the quarterback position.
Absolutely.
Go.
Make Drew Brees play safety.
I heard Pac-Man Jones is always irritated about not getting to go to the Pro Bowl because he thinks it's the Pro Bowl.
It's funny, Zach.
Wait, would that mean Willis McGahee also would like a different kind of Pro Bowl because he's a good bowler? No? Nobody?
Mellow?
Crickets.
That was a little bad. On that note, please, let's move on because the Pro Bowl it was atrocious to watch.
I don't want to talk about the Pro Bowl ever again.
It has no fantasy implications whatsoever.
Well, neither does the Super Bowl, and you guys want to talk about that, apparently. I don't. We're not talking about the
I want to
Well,
talk about
that was
the
their
Super
whole
Bowl.
marketing point was that the Pro Bowl draft was like real fantasy.
come on. Real fantasy?
Yeah.
And speaking of which, they had two guys that are out of date and probably haven't watched the NFL in a couple years running the teams, and Deion Sanders and Jerry Rice. They're like, I want this guy.
Barry Sanders, who also claims that he could still play on special teams.
I bet he could still play.
He's 45. There's
Barry
no way
Sanders
he
is
could
pretty
still play.
Deion, not Barry. Deion.
What are you talking about? Barry Sanders.
I'm talking about Barry.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he could probably play. You kidding me?
No way.
Come on, man.
Barry Sanders, man.
All right.
John Kidner can still play. Barry Sanders can still
Seth,
play.
I'm going to bring up something that you are probably really excited. I know you watched it the other day. Let's talk about outdoor hockey. As a casual fan, nothing gets me into the hockey except for outdoor games. I love it. The spectacle is so cool.
You know what was really interesting about the game at Yankee Stadium is that they treated it as a home game for the Devils, and that's because the NFL had to reimburse the Devils. When, from what I understand, when they play a game in that arena, the ownership of the home team gets reimbursed as if it were a home game in their stadium. Since the Rangers sell out so much more than the Devils, sell so many more tickets, it was cheaper for the NHL to pay the Devils to be the home team. So the
Really?
Rangers were the away team, and the Devils got $1 million for the game.
You know, you said NFL.
I meant the NHL.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm like, no, I thought you were meant
Yeah, I was like, well, yeah,
I
I don't
thought you
know.
meant
I
like
thought there
the
was some
Mara
sort of
family or
correlation.
something.
I don't really know.
I was on every word he was saying. And
They played a hockey game in a baseball stadium with a football score. 7-3 Rangers.
Was it really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
All right. Well, what I thought about the game, I love these games. I think it's great that they're having the stadium series. I think it's great for the fans. Hockey in itself is a live sport in person to watch. It's amazing when you're there. And I think, and a couple people complain about, all right, the ice game was cool. It was cool when it was outdoors. No, I think this is great. I like what they're doing.
I thought it was really weird that they had a game outdoors in Southern California. I don't know how they pulled that off. That's some modern science right there.
Yeah, that is. Well, I mean,
It was 70 degrees in the morning.
hold on. We were just in Las Vegas last week. We did see an outdoor ice rink that was clearly it was frozen, right? It was 65 degrees when we were there. So it can't really be that difficult.
They can do a
Obviously, it
lot
could
of
be done.
special
They pulled
things
it
these
off.
days.
I know it was nice to see the Rangers. That game was actually pretty wild in the first period, where the Devils got up 3-1 pretty quickly, but the Rangers won 7-3.
They scored 6 straight goals.
It was incredible, really.
That's
What a
pretty
performance. Some of the goals were just so odd when they went in. It was just really weird gimme goals. But it was nice to see Matt Zuccarello perform, at least on the Rangers, after his buddy Del Zotto got traded away. You figure that he wouldn't come back as strong, but he came back strong. Carl Hagelin had a good game. Rick Nash scored for
Isn't
his
Carl
first straight
Hagelin your
game.
guy? Isn't that
I
your
love
boy?
Carl Hagelin. I'm a big fan of his.
That's the only name I recognize from the Rangers because you say it so often. You're like, Carl Hagelin.
Goldilocks. That's my man right there.
Wow. Let's move on to some other odd things. Zach and I were monitoring this over the last week. The Olympic, preliminary 28-man roster came out for the USA basketball team. We saw some really strange and interesting names on this list, Zach. Let's go over the guys that are veterans that have already been on this. They've either been in the Olympics or the USA basketball team.
But this is the World Cup.
No, but from this pool, this has to be selected for this 2016 Olympics. It's the 14 and 16 games is what basically this pool is for. So we got Carmelo, Tyson Chandler, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Durant, Harden, Howard, Iggy's still there, LeBron, Love, Paul, Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, and Darren Williams. All those pretty standard, right? Except Darren. Darren's kind of been injury prone.
Yeah, Darren's been up and down, but if
Tyson Chandler?
Tyson Chandler
is one of the best defensive centers of the last 20
When
years.
he's healthy.
No, I don't say, but we'll get into it because I don't think by 14 or 16 he's going to be A, on this roster, and B, healthy enough to even contribute.
There's a lot of players that are suspect on this list.
Yeah, I'm going to say, we're getting
I'm not really sure what Bradley Beal is doing there.
No, we'll get to it. Okay, Lamar, the newcomers, these are guys that have not been on the stage before, so they've played on the select team, the team that basically faces off against the good team. You basically get your butt whooped, that's all it's for. LaMarcus Aldridge, obviously, he's going to be a building block on this team, right?
He's a shoo-in, one of my favorite power forwards in the league. only going to get better, getting stronger every year, too, which has been a huge asset for him.
The one thing we're going to notice with this list is this team, remember the last Olympics, we had to play, Kevin Durant at center at the end of those games? Because we had no center to play. It was him and LeBron were playing 4-5.
Yeah, because Davis went down, right?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't on the last Olympic team, was he?
Are you sure?
I don't think he was.
I think LaMarcus Aldridge is becoming your D'Angelo Williams.
No, but he's a good player. Though. That's
I'm not
the
really
difference.
sure what that means.
It means the guy that you
Somehow
will stick up
Seth
for.
is about to draw the basketball talk back to football.
Yeah, really.
Somehow.
He's going
I'm
to
not
figure
really
out a
sure
way
how-
to bring
yeah.
it.
Football is not over yet.
Yeah, let's never talk D'Angelo Williams ever again until next season when he's irrelevant. I'm going to put him there. All right, Bradley Beal, like you said, there's sharpshooters, and then there's Bradley Beal. Like, he's not even that much of a sharpshooter.
I think Bradley Beal's got a decent future in the league. He's dynamic, but right now...
I would say one of the best 30 players in the country?
No, and I think it's unfortunate because there's definitely some players that may just not be interested at this point. Especially at this point, they're interested in the possibility of being on the Olympic team, whatever, but for...
That's Rondo's thing. He came in once and then never came in again. It's like, I wasn't interested. Thanks. See you later. All right, DeMarcus Cousins, huge. Obviously has to be on this team. A beast. Andre Drummond's one of my favorite prospects for this team. By the 16 games, he could be one of the top 3 centers in the game.
He's been very up and down, but he's a young guy. He's got a lot going on.
His frame, it's promising. He looks like a big guy who can run. That's all that matters in the NBA. That's all. You don't want to look like Greg Oden, 85-year-old, run up the court. All right,
Greg Oden's back.
Yeah, okay. All right, we got the Manimal, Kenneth Faried. Paul George will be a staple, obviously. Blake Griffin probably be there. Gordon Hayward makes no sense. You got to have, the token white guy.
Well, if you look at some of the other people on this list...
Okay, let's go through them. Kyrie Irving, yes. Kyle Korver is on this list.
I love Kyle Korver. Look at that haircut.
Yeah, okay. For what reason do you love Kyle Korver? Quickly.
Because Seth also loves Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, there we go. Wow. We got David Lee, who stands no chance. He's undersized against every single other
You're
person.
You're naming
on
white
list.
guys left and right. How are you calling Gordon Hayward?
David Lee is one of the best offensive power forwards in the league.
Yeah, but against a lot of these guys on this team, I don't think he'd fare well.
Who cares about? He's not playing the guys on this team. He's playing Euroball, and he is perfect for that.
To get onto the team, you have to beat out the other guys at your position. The other guys are Damian Lillard. I like Klay Thompson, suspect in this format. I'm not a big fan. You a big fan of Klay Thompson?
I do like Klay Thompson a lot, actually,
Really?
and I would prefer him over Kyle Korver easily.
Well, yeah, come on.
He's a better sharpshooter than Kyle Korver.
Yeah,
at this
you know what?
point.
He does a lot more, too. I completely agree with that. But that'll wrap it up. When we come back, we'll be talking today's NBA lineup breakdown. You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at starfantasyleagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Jonathan, Zach, and Seth. Let's do this. Time for your Star Fantasy League's NBA fantasy lineup breakdown.
We're back, and like you heard the voiceover guys say, it's time for the, Monday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. That's sad. It's the Monday NBA breakdown. Usually Zach goes over his team and tells you exactly how he came upon it, but today we're doing something a tiny little bit different. I'm going to go over the players that I put in my lineup, and Zach's going to tell you whether or not I did a good job, and then he's going to tell you with the extra time in this segment exactly what he'd do differently with his lineup.
What am I going to do?
You were going to interject with your wonderful, what would you say? You prepared a lot for this show? Is that correct?
Yeah, I know exactly what I'm putting in my lineup tonight.
I believe the nicest word I can use for your comments are asinine.
Ah, I like that. That sounds about. Is that allowed
There's
to say
a
in the
number
air?
in that word.
Can you say that in the air? We don't care. It doesn't matter.
I think so.
It does not matter. All right, we're going to go down my lineup really quickly. At my first, actually, this is one of the guys I absolutely had to have in my lineup tonight. Goran Dragic going against, obviously, Philadelphia. Who doesn't love playing against Philadelphia? They can't guard anyone. Bottom three or four against every single position. Goran Dragic for 15,945. What do you think, Zach?
I think that's a great pick.
Yeah.
I was trying to fit him in my lineup as well. He's been performing up and down. Obviously, Eric Bledsoe's out, which is nice. That's a perk. That gives him more touches, and obviously this matchup doesn't get much better. He only had 27 points, shockingly, against them last time, but you got to think that he'd have to turn around.
You mean fantasy points,
right?
Correct?
Fantasy
not
points,
actual points,
right?
Okay,
And especially with Bledsoe out, you got to think that he has a big game tonight.
That sounds about right. Well, that's the reason I put him in. Second guy I put in my guard position is Darren Collison for a little bit of value at 87.65. I figured the Clippers are playing Milwaukee. Collison's a guy, I feel like this is going to be a huge blowout. Collison's a guy that's going to probably play 30 minutes regardless at the point guard spot because basically they have nobody else.
from what I've seen so far, it looks like it's working out pretty well for you.
I would say so. Through one quarter, he's got 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and a steal. That's
I was
good.
a little hesitant to use him tonight. I'm very surprised at how he has performed since Chris Paul went down. He's been in the 15 to 25 fantasy point range every night, and for me, at his price, his price isn't bad. His price
that's what I want.
is worth the risk.
I want 20 to 25 points out of him, and I'm very happy.
Yeah, and like I said, I've been surprised, but he's a guy that can perform. He just hasn't had one of those big games.
Don't forget, on a contract right now. He signed a 1-year deal with the Clippers, right, to back up Chris Paul. He's on a contract year. When he saw Chris Paul went down, he went, "Ooh, I could get a contract now."
This was a guy that coming into the league, nobody thought that he had that much potential because he's so small. But he's actually done pretty well for himself as a role player.
He's done fairly well, I'll say that much. My next guy is a little bit of a reach, I'll be honest. A guy named Kevin Durant. Do I need to explain this?
I don't know how you even choose him.
One of our office mates, who I believe listens to the show, said that I'm an idiot for putting in... he said it's a cop-out to put it in the top-priced guy on the site.
Well, considering he's 68.2% owned in the free roll tonight at StarFantasyLeagues.com, everybody's in the same boat. There's enough value plays right now on Star Fantasy Leagues that you're able to find some people that could put up the type of value of any sort of mid-range player to get you in a guy like Kevin Durant. It looks like that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, I got a bunch of value. So here's some guy. This is one guy that I'm really frightened about, and we may talk about this later. Rudy Gay is. I didn't put Rudy Gay in, but Rudy Gay is a game-time decision. They said he's in uniform right now. He's going to go through warm-ups, but if he doesn't play, I love my Derek Williams pick because he's been not great. He's been serviceable. I don't know what other word I'm looking for. I don't want to say good or great. I want to say
at a price of $7,000. I don't think he's a bad option, anyways. Even if Rudy Gay does play,
he's not going to play a full game
because DeMarcus Cousins is still out. That's the
true.
reality of it. Yeah. And Jason Thompson is going to need somebody to sub in for him, and he can still end up stealing some of Rudy Gay's minutes. This is a guy that has high upside against a weakened Utah interior.
Yeah, Utah, they got no big guys.
They got no
Cantor
big guys.
And Favors.
Cantor is abysmal.
Favors is injured, too.
Favors is playing.
Yeah, but, no, he's back, but he's hobbled a little bit. He didn't play a full slate, so who do they really have behind that?
Regardless of who they've had in this year, their interior hasn't been this strong, and at a price of $7,000, Derek Williams makes it for a solid play.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Rudy Gay doesn't play so he can get his ceiling of about 25-30 around there. That would be. I feel like that could win me the game tonight, right? Sounds about right?
I hate these, I'm going to test it out. I hate this stuff. Especially Rudy Gay's out for 4 games. If you go through shoot around and you know that you're feeling fine, don't give me this test out crap right before the game starts.
Exactly. That is
you're either going to play or you're not going to play.
That's the craziest thing. I can't.
And obviously it drives us all nuts in the fantasy world. What do you think about that, Seth?
I think he's a grown man and can do whatever he wants to do.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that input.
That's how Seth feels at the office. I'm like, Seth, you need to come in. I'm paying you. And he says, I'm a grown man.
I'm 30.
I'm 30. I can do what I want. You're actually not 30 yet.
And it was 40.
We're talking Monday's NBA breakdown here on the Star Fantasy League show. Tweet us at SFL Show if you want to let us know how our lineup's doing, how you do it differently. Catch us at StarFantasyLeagues.com if you want to get in the game. We got free rolls, NBA, NHL every day of the week, Tuesday and Thursday. Special $50 free roll. All right, let's go through the rest of my lineup real quickly. Markieff Morris, absolutely love him. Like I said, Philadelphia is a joke. Markie's been on his little roller coaster, but he's on the upward trend of his roller coaster. So I wanted to make sure I got the right Morris twin. Seth, do you know the twins? Do you know either of them?
Marcus and Markieff?
Yeah. Do you know which one's which?
No.
I don't either. It's okay. I knew that he was the one trending.
Didn't they both go to Kansas?
They did.
Hey.
Wow, Seth knows something.
Up top, guys. Up top. Come on.
No, absolutely not.
They leave me hanging. I feel like Tom Brady up in here.
Can I actually provide some analysis
yes,
now?
Please.
Rather than they both went to Kansas, which I'm glad that you know that. I'm pretty proud of you, actually, for that. Honestly, these guys kind of bother me, and I see what you're saying. They both have the potential to have huge games, especially Markieff Morris. But with how Phoenix has been running their bench, running their lineups, and switching people around, I don't know what's going on half the time. Channing Frye, how many minutes are you going to get? Marcus, how many minutes are you going to get?
Too. Yeah. They gotta get
and with guys coming off the bench, obviously this guy has a ton of potential, Markieff. But it drives me crazy because you really don't know. All of a sudden, it'll be like, well, this isn't working out too well, and he'll be out of the game, and it'll cost you.
You kind of just made my point, though, because if he's riding this hot streak, Markieff Morris had 2 or 3 straight really good games, but getting big minutes. If he continues on this trend, Hornacek's going to go, you know what, I think we should ride him a little more, as opposed to putting Plumlee and going, you know what, he's been cold, let's throw him in there.
And I can complain from a fantasy perspective, but Hornacek's been one of the coaches of the year right
He
now.
really has. He has.
So I got to give it to him. His rotations have worked out pretty well so far.
You want to hear an interesting little piece of trivia?
No.
Go ahead. Sure.
No.
You know that Marcus and Markieff are the second pair of twin brothers to play on the team together?
Yes, I did actually know
Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Did you also
the
know
other
that
ones
they're
are?
twin brothers?
Yes, I know they're twin brothers.
All right, let's quickly go through the other three. Let's see how we like it. Spencer Hawes. I don't really, like you said, these guys are kind of inconsistent on the front court for Philadelphia. Oh, excuse me, for Phoenix. Playing the defense, they're pretty suspect. Channing Frye doesn't play any defense. Plumlee's been okay.
This is a tough pick for me.
Yeah, you don't like Spencer?
I think
Too expensive?
I
Is
think
that
he's
the problem?
exceeded his value a little bit right now. He hasn't been playing as well as he was playing in the beginning of the year. He's bottomed out a little bit. I mean, he's definitely serviceable, and you're definitely going to get points. It's not like he's going to stone you on any night. Yeah, but I mean, lately he's been a guy that's in the mid to upper 20s, which when you get up in the high 14s, 15,000s is not. You're looking for 30s.
Yeah, you're looking for 30 to
Yeah.
35. Yeah, that's right. All right, my last two are DJ Augustine and Terrence Ross. DJ Augustine has been an absolute beast since being put in the starting lineup position. Kirk Hinrich's not playing tonight. He's playing against Ricky Rubio. Like, all these signs point to you. And his salary is $89.28.
If you don't have DJ Augustine in your lineup at 8,900 tonight, you are an idiot.
That's true. Oh, we're calling out our listeners.
I
Nice.
think I'm going to have to give my "you are an idiot" statement
There you
like
go.
every night.
All right, the last guy, Terrence Ross, went out, 52 last night? Or 2 nights ago?
Goodness, that was unbelievable.
Nobody had him. He was like owned at
This is a guy
2%.
that hasn't scored over, I think it was
26 in his
over
life.
26 in his whole career, and
That's
he practically
crazy.
doubles it.
That is-
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by
And
that.
now
he's playing pretty
and now
well
you've
right
got,
now.
Yeah, he's playing pretty well tonight. You've got DeMar DeRozan out,
Yep.
which inserts him right away and makes him a focal point of the offense with Kyle Lowry. You got to have him in the lineup tonight at 74.
All right, so you think I did a fairly
I think
good
you
job?
did quite well. I'm very proud of you.
Okay, so it's like I did this for a living.
I think your lineup might
It's
be
like
better than mine
It's like
tonight.
I do this for a living. No way. All right, quickly, we got 2.5 minutes. Let's go over your lineup, what you would have done differently. Quickly tell me who you have different, obviously.
Okay. Well, I tried to squeeze in the big boys tonight, so I've got Paul Millsap, Kevin Durant, and Blake Griffin all in.
You got all three.
I have all of them in, and I'm a little disappointed in myself because I started John Salmons tonight, which is
What?
a horrible decision. I know, this is one of the worst picks I've ever had.
Oh, he actually does. He's not kidding. He has John
I do
Salmons in
have
his
John
lineup.
Salmons in. Okay.
Oh, my.
The reason being, with DeRozan out,
Okay.
I thought he would be instantly inserted in the starting lineup. I know from the past that this is a guy that can score the rock. He's had some good games before. He's a guy that can put up 20 fantasy points easily.
On bad teams,
and,
yeah.
and that's my payoff right there. But it doesn't look that way tonight. And what is his name? What's Toronto's coach?
It's not Dwayne Casey, is it?
Dwayne Casey.
Is
yes.
it? He's still there?
Yes,
Oh,
Dwayne
yeah.
Casey decided to start Steve Novak tonight.
Oh, I did see that. It was
and
even
so that's
worse.
just killing me.
All right.
So that was a pretty fishy pick.
Yeah. Oh. All right, let's go over the
I'm
last
so
couple.
glad when he inserts a bad comment.
Yeah, this is true.
Okay.
Let's go over your last couple.
Okay, let me
low
give
guys.
you a couple more
right?
that I really liked that I put in tonight. I put in Shelvin Mack, who had
I had him in one of my other
7,500. He is a talented player.
He's replacing Jeff Teague tonight. Yeah.
Right, and he didn't have a good game last game, but I thought that was kind of a fluke. He has the potential to put up a lot of points, especially in a fast-moving game like one against Oklahoma City. So I got
Yes,
him in.
that is true.
My value pick of the night is Aaron Gray.
Oh, my God.
Is Aaron Gray,
Pittsburgh
who has been
product?
playing over 25 minutes. Oh, I think he played 36
He's
minutes
starting,
the other
so
night.
he's starting today,
Starting
right?
for DeMarcus
Yep.
Cousins.
Yep.
And he's at the minimum of 3,000. He put up 24 fantasy points last game.
That is
I
some-
will take my chances because if I get 15 points out of him, I will make
That's
value
true.
easily.
That's your hidden value on
That's my hidden value.
StarFantasyLeagues.com tonight, isn't it?
I love StarFantasyLeagues.com. Have I told you that before?
You kind of started the company, so I would hope you love it.
Unfortunately, since I help run the company, I can't actually participate in all of our awesome cash games. But I do throw a lineup in the free roll here and there just to have fun.
Yeah.
We all
fun.
like to have fun.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with fun. Is that basically what we're saying?
I
here?
like fun.
It brings me back.
If you guys want to get into the fun, we have a free roll every single night for Fantasy NBA on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Get in today. Win some money. What's better than that? And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
The Star Fantasy League show is now part of the Nick Monsanto show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now.
Welcome back to the Star Fantasy League show, and we are going to break down tomorrow's NBA. This is tomorrow. We got a, 7-game slate going off, Zach?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I think Zach...
Tomorrow.
During the break, I think Zach might have left the office and had some adult beverages, because he's been in here dancing and gyrating, and I'm very uncomfortable.
Well, that last commercial that we just went through had some fantastic music in the background.
Yeah,
well done, Sports Byline.
Yeah, it's like a club in here. I feel like we're going to start a dance party.
When I get to hang out with you guys, it just doesn't feel like a Monday.
So why are you making fun of me all the time then?
Actually,
that's why it doesn't feel like a Monday, because I feel great when I make fun of you.
Our rundown today,
That's the model of bullying.
Seth, if you showed up and helped make this rundown for the show, you would see that segment 1 said, "Tell Seth he's an idiot." And you didn't even see that because you don't participate in this.
Well, you told me I was an idiot.
I know, because I stick to the script.
So let me get this straight. I'm the idiot, but you had to write down the plan to call me an idiot.
And you know how people override that stuff by being receptive to it and acting like they don't care? The more Seth does that, the more I get excited about doing it.
I do care. Words hurt.
No, words don't hurt. You know what hurts? Being unprepared for this show. That's what hurts. It makes me hurt inside, because I spend all day doing the good graces of just making a good lineup, a good rundown, a good show.
I'm sure this is all very compelling to our listener.
Let's play NBA Jeopardy with Seth. The Cleveland Cavaliers center. Who is?
Oh my God, this is actually really fun.
Dan Gilbert.
No,
he's the center of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I see what you did there, but you're wrong. Go ahead. This is actually fun. We're gonna do this for a while.
Anderson Varejao.
Yeah, I knew that.
Is the answer.
No,
I wanted to see if you knew that.
Oh, you want to see if we knew?
Come on, hit me again.
Who is? Oh wait, that's not how I started.
Yeah,
right?
that's
the
Jeopardy.
point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies.
I don't know any point guards.
You don't know any
Is that
point
Zach
guard.
Randolph?
Are you serious?
He's a power forward.
I have no idea.
I
don't know anything about
Can
basketball.
you name another player on the Memphis Grizzlies?
Marc Gasol.
Oh,
okay.
I guess the game has to end now.
Come on now.
Come on now. You don't know Mike Conley, but you know Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph.
Did Marc Gasol ever play with his brother?
I have no idea. Probably when they were kids.
Wow. Okay. I don't think that's what we're
You know what?
going
I want to
Pau
ask.
Gasol was a Grizzly.
I want to ask our listener to tweet us at SFL Show and let me know if you really enjoy my witty banter and really don't like.
I feel like you're going to retire from the show if someone
really
in the
don't
world.
like true knowledge.
Yeah, if someone on Twitter does not tweet at SFL Show and tell Seth he's doing a good job and that he's funny, he's honestly going to quit this show. I mean, he works in this office. It's basically his show to run, but he's going to quit.
It's not my show to run, John. It's your show. It's the John show. Everybody knows that.
Hold on. Can we get that? Scott, do we got that?
I
I
don't appreciate that.
I believe it is hosted by.
I'll take a chunk of the show myself.
It's co-host and thing,
yeah.
Seth. Yeah, that's
and
right.
Klingon over there.
All right, we do have a 7-game set to talk about, Zach. I know we did just break down my lineup and a little of yours. You did give me some praises. That was nice.
I was very pumped up about what you put together.
It made me feel so good.
I'm not going to say I took that much time today.
Oh,
every
day.
I was very pleased with what you had there.
Thank you.
And it looks like it's working out well.
I know the team is doing well right now.
That's what happens when you do your research. It bears fruit for you.
A bear fruit? You mean like a star fruit?
No, like a bear fruit.
No, star fruit. Star Fantasy League. Star fruit. No, I'm trying to make Seth jokes. They're not working.
Well, this is a skill game, so if
it's hard for Seth to understand his own jokes.
If you're going to put the time and effort into building a lineup, you're really going to do your research. Chances are, more often than not, you're going to come out on top.
That is very true. That is why daily fantasy sports is a skill game. You put in the time and effort, you know what you're talking about, you do well. You put in the Seth effort and not know what you're talking about, you don't do well.
Oh, yeah. I'm the guy that loses all the time. I mean, that's clear. I play an NBA game every now and again.
Oh, God.
And I never come close to winning. And you know what? Sometimes I even look and try to do some research too. But I just don't know the game.
That's me with hockey, honestly. I see these things and I'm just like, nope.
Yeah, you and I can sit down soon and watch a night of NBA.
I like watching basketball. I just don't know much about it. I got to be honest. I'm more of a hockey fan. I've been a hockey fan my entire life.
Baseball?
I like baseball.
Oh, man, we got pitchers and catchers reporting, 9 days from now? Is that what I saw? I think I saw 9.
Yeah, I think that's true.
You want to hear a quick funny story?
Sure, we got plenty of time. Don't you worry.
I was down at spring training when I was 11 years old at the Yankees game with my parents. And who walks out of the concession area and is just in plain view but the great one, Reggie Jackson. And I recognized him. I'm 12 years old, and I see this guy. He's Mr. October. He's the legend.
The great one is Wayne Gretzky.
Come on. He's the legend. He's Mr. October. So I go up to him, and I've got a napkin, and I'm wearing my Yankees gear, and I got a pen. And I say, Mr. Jackson, with my old 12-year-old
Did you say, hey, the great one?
I was so excited to see him, and I said, Mr. Jackson, can I please have your autograph? He said, kid, you better get out of my way. I'm in a hurry. I don't want to be mobbed by people. And
did that crush your dreams?
But I just want your autograph. And I'm walking in front of him, and he's looking at me and saying, you better get out of my way or I'm going to run over you. And I was like, well, you're going to have to run over me because I'm not going to leave without your autograph. So he stops, he signs my autograph, and what happens? He gets mobbed by about 50 people, and he can't get to where he's going. He shot me the worst glares as I was running away with glee. So it was a very bittersweet moment for me.
Yeah, sometimes you meet your idols and then you realize they're jerks, and then you're like, nope, I'm done with that.
He was kind of a jerk.
There you go.
I got to say, he was. But you know what? I still have his autograph.
I say, now that I have a national stage to say this, Drew Bledsoe, you screwed me when I was 9. You told me to go piss off, and you're a jerk. There you go, Drew Bledsoe. My dad knows the story. He's actually listening. Remember that, Dad, when he decided to tell me to go screw up at a charity event that we paid to be at? He said, screw off, kid.
I love
Screw off,
our childhood horror stories about athletes.
Yeah, and they're always nice.
And that you're surprised that Reggie Jackson was a douchebag.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
you're
give him
young.
credit for that. Fine.
All right, let's finally move on. We had some banter. We had some fun stories. I like that. This is what StarFantasyLeagues.com is all about. Come into the chat, have some fun stories, talk with the employees. We love it. We love the banter. It's all great. Playing a few games.
You know, you play fantasy sports because you have a passion for the game, and you know what? That's what we're all about.
That's
here.
true. I completely agree. You know what we have a passion for? NBA Tuesday. We got a $50 free roll on Tuesdays. Pretty excited about it. We'll be breaking it down tomorrow, our actual lineups for it. But, Zach, just some basic things you're looking forward to. Like I said, 7-game set, things you're looking for, teams you're targeting, matchups you're looking for.
I'm liking the San Antonio game, and I'm also liking the Washington Golden State game.
Okay.
Both really high over-unders, both teams that like to run and gun. San Antonio, as I've said previously, is a team that puts up a lot more points. If you were watching the Miami game the other day, although it didn't bear a lot of fruit because the game turned into a blowout, there were a lot of points in that Miami-San Antonio game, as there have been in many other of San Antonio's contests so far this year.
And they're playing Houston, who I don't really think has a player that plays defense.
No, they don't.
They don't own one of them.
And it's funny because Dwight Howard is a credible shot blocker, as he has been over time.
He just doesn't do it.
Hates defense.
Yeah, he hates playing. He sees a ball near him and he blocks it. But if it's anywhere to go help defense,
he likes deciding which nights to play, which makes me never pick him ever.
He's really difficult to put in your line. He gets those 45 to 55 point nights, but he also gets the 20 to 25.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Roy Hibbert very much the same way?
No, because Dwight Howard is an offensive monster. Roy Hibbert is a bread and butter guy who is one of the best defensive centers in the league.
Yeah, that's very true. Roy Hibbert has to have the game come to him. He can't really create for himself. He's also not in a system where he has to create for himself.
No,
he's got
Roy Hibbert does his job, and even though he might piss you off in fantasy sometimes, he's a great asset to his team.
Yeah, he's well, I guess his floor is about the same as Dwight Howard's, but his ceiling is nowhere close.
But take a look at this. I've mentioned previously that you like to look at games in which the two teams have gone up against each other before because you can see trends, you can see what has happened, especially when it's that current year.
Yep.
Now, the Spurs have played the Rockets twice so far this year, and guess what James Harden has done?
Nothing.
Incorrect.
Oh, everything?
James Harden, last game, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. The game before that, twice they've played this year, 31 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. It's hard not to play him tomorrow, given these stats.
Is it Harden not to play him?
Was that a pun, Zach?
No, actually, I really wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, I don't think it was either.
So I think he's a guy that you definitely want to give a look. Two guys in the other matchup that I really like that you definitely want to give a look, which I think you're following with me on this, is John Wall and Stephen Curry.
Yes, sir. I got both of them.
Stephen Curry, who has pretty much been matchup-proof the whole year, but is awfully exciting at home, especially against a Washington team that has been able to compete in some games lately. Although this is a 9-point spread, it's an over-under 206, 207, and every time that he gets into a close game, look out, especially when he's up against a point guard that he definitely wants to show how superior is to him. I think both of them could have great games tomorrow.
I really think that matters to Steph Curry. When he sees a guy who went number 1 overall, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go out there and show why I should have been picked higher. Well, they weren't from the same draft class, but he went a couple years later, right?
Yeah.
Did you see those shoes he was wearing the other night, Steph Curry?
These are things that Seth noted. Like, you watch basketball and you look at
they
the
were
shoes.
Unbelievable. They were shiny. They were gold. It was hot. Hot shoes. Hot Curry.
Oh, my God. If you're listening, please tweet us at SFL Show if you really think Seth should retire from
Seth's
the show.
love for Stephen Curry started with his father, Del Curry.
His brother's name is Seth.
That is true. Wow, he knows that. What school did he go to?
He
Quick.
went to Duke.
Oh, you like Duke, don't you?
Come on, man.
Now he's trying to make up a Come On Man segment for us.
Come on, man.
Come on.
All right, quickly. Anywhere you're looking for obviously early value, the salaries are not yet out since games are still going on StarFantasyLeagues.com. They'll be out in about an hour or so. But any guys that you're looking preliminarily at to see for low-end value or anything like that, or matchups that you think you can get some value out of?
I know we just talked about him and how he's sometimes very frustrating, but right now the Los Angeles Lakers don't have anybody to stop Roy Hibbert.
That is very true.
Anybody.
He's going to be about a mid-level, probably about a 14, 15.
Yeah, maybe even 13.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they are ranked 30th against the center. That is the worst.
That is the absolute worst. And
who do they have at center? Quick, go.
Robert Sacre.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Jordan
Chris
Hill. I mean, they
Kaman.
basically funnel in and out power forwards. Chris Kaman hasn't even been playing,
No, he doesn't
so
play at
they've
all.
been funneling in and out. Powell's been playing center sometimes. They've just been circling
And
them
Powell
around. They
cannot
don't have an
guard
actual
centers.
defined center ever since Andrew Bynum left, essentially.
Yeah, Powell can't guard centers. He just
No,
can't.
Powell can't, and Powell, I mean, is not strong.
This is
He's
very.
not, and
he's
that's
a finesse.
it's always been his fatal flaw. Yeah, he's a bread and butter scorer.
That's why Mark's the better player because he's a beast. He can
Mark is a monster.
He could back you down and score on
Defensive
anybody.
Player of the Year a couple years ago.
Powell will never have that on his resume ever.
Yeah,
No,
but his
thank you.
name is just so much cooler.
Pau Gasol.
Yeah, so you're looking at anybody on Indiana, of course, but danger on this game.
It's the blowout.
Especially if Jody Meeks ends up missing. That's another guy that they don't have playing.
Aye.
And there could definitely be a blowout in this game, but given the Jody Meeks probability of missing the game, I would keep an eye out for Manny Harris.
Yeah, Manny
who
Harris
showed
is
in
big play.
Cleveland that he was fully capable of scoring and putting up a decent stat line. He could have a big game at a very, very reasonable price. These are the type of price tags that you want to look for.
This is true. You got to love your Ryan Kelly pick a couple days ago. Did nothing, but he was what 3, 4, 5,000 somewhere.
I
around
bet
there?
That team still did quite well.
I believe your book is going to be published shortly. Would I be right about
I
that?
have a book coming out. I'm editing it.
Oh.
I mean, it's more going to be like a, what would you call it?
Oh, it's a little black book for daily fantasy.
Yeah,
I
it's-
like that. Little Black Daily Fantasy Book. We should call it that. That's a good title. I like that.
And you know what's coming out after that is a little black book for daily fantasy football.
Oh.
A beginner's guide to winning salary cap games.
Wow. That's a lot.
Did you see how he said that when
No.
he looked at you?
He got really uncomfortable. He's just like staring me down. You can't. You guys.
I don't
can't see
think
that.
he got uncomfortable. I think you got uncomfortable.
I'm always uncomfortable when Seth looks at me. Let's be honest. He sits outside my office window and just stares me down. You realize you can't do that, man. All right, let's quickly. We got a minute or so. Some really low-end value picks you got. There's got to be somebody you had in mind. One guy.
I think George Hill could be a solid choice tomorrow.
Okay.
He's always low. He puts up a pretty mediocre amount of points, but LA just can't defend the point. He should be able to get some assists tomorrow. And Danny Granger with a potential blowout who has been producing off the bench regardless here and there.
He's cheap too. He's
Yeah,
been
he could
7,000.
end up getting a good chunk of minutes if this game goes how I think it's going to go. I think
Yeah,
this
blowout,
-9 is
potential.
going to go up heading towards game time.
I actually really like Brian Roberts tomorrow.
That's a great matchup as well.
He's been starting, has a great matchup against the point guard who doesn't like to play defense.
It
That's
all
kinda
depends on the
nice.
value with Brian Roberts because once you start reaching up towards 9 or 10,000, he's very iffy.
That's true. If he gets 8 to 9 around there, I really think
He's a guy that can produce 20,000.
he could be a play.
20 points.
He could be a play of the
20
day
points.
for value purposes. I really like Brian Roberts. Keep an eye on that. Kyrie Irving does not play defense. And we'll be back to close out the show. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Nick Monsanto Show here on the Sports Byline USA Network. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
As the voiceover guy said, apparently we have a Twitter. Isn't that exciting, guys?
It's at SFL Show.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tweet us.
Tweet us. We want any kind of feedback from you in any way. Your favorite color, your favorite Subway sandwich, as Seth would like to say. Anything.
John, I
I
bet
feel
you're
like we're doing Subway promos because we talk about them.
Well, John's a meatball marinara guy. Everybody knows that.
That's your go-to. I don't know why that's funny. It's never funny.
You're not very funny.
Yeah.
I am entertaining.
Okay, you're entertaining us.
I love that we got that throwback in there. That's fine. What have we got going on StarFantasyLeagues.com, Seth? I know that's your bread and butter. That's what you like to talk about.
My
That's your
bread and
job.
butter.
Yeah.
This is my Roy Hibbert of the segment. No, we have a lot going on at StarFantasyLeagues.com. We just rolled out an awesome new feature where you can create custom games for you and your friends. So if you have some friends that you want to play with, start a game with them. And if you'd like to open up that game and make some new friends, you can open that game to the public. You can play fantasy sports for real money on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Right now we have basketball up. We have hockey up. We have $1,500 guaranteed in cash prizes on Wednesday nights and $2,000 in cash prizes guaranteed on Friday nights, regardless of how many people join those games. And we run free tournaments every night. It costs nothing to enter. You can win real money where you're eligible. It's a great place to start playing.
Yeah, and don't forget, Tuesdays and Thursdays for you NBA people who are kind of putting your feet in the water. Tuesdays and Thursdays, the special $50 free roll hosted by Roto Experts. They got some nice games for us. Got $50. What's better than that, right? It's better than the $10, right?
You got to get in it.
Got to do it, right?
I'm in. You're in. We're in.
We're all in together.
Who's in? I just said that.
That will wrap up another great episode.
So turn off your radio.
No, do not turn off the radio. You got to stop doing that, Seth. You're killing me.
Turn it off.
You're killing me. No more.
Nothing to see here.
No, you're not entertaining. We're not turning off the radio, but we are ending with a nice snippet from you today. This is something you said on the radio. If you guys think that Zach Randolph plays point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies, you need our help a lot more than you think. See you next time.